it's a very interesting question of how you pivot value propositions, and people often think that they need to build something. You know, if they're thinking of an IT service, they need to build the IT service. Well, that's absolutely not true. That comes maybe in a later stage, because building stuff in the software world, you know, is cheaper than ever before, but it still costs you quite a bit of money. So the first thing you want to do is just conceptually map it out, and then ask yourself, what needs to be true for my idea to work? And those are your hypotheses. So you ask yourself, what are all the things that need to be true for my idea to work after you kind of mapped out your value proposition that you want to build? And then you test one after the other, and that could be as simple as launching a Google ad campaign. You didn't build anything yet, you're just figuring out if people will click on an ad, you know, about a new type of this or that, a new headache pill, or you will you know, launch a Google ad around a specific problem, and you will learn if people have that problem or not. If nobody clicks on an ad, well, that problem probably doesn't exist. So you can test a lot of things and pivot your idea way before you build anything. So there's this myth around having to build something to test it. In particular, in the health sector, people will tell you, but it's very expensive to build a prototype. In biotech, you know, it's very expensive to come up with something new. But you can pivot a lot before. You can test ideas a lot before. You just need to always address this question: what's the most important thing that needs to be true for my idea to work? And that's the first thing you will test. And then you'll continue testing those important hypotheses. Startup or large company, the task is the same thing. You want to reduce uncertainty. You want to de-risk innovation. So you have to do it if you don't want to make what some academics like to call wild-ass gambles on new innovations. The challenge, of course, in large companies is that you have rigid processes that were not designed for experimentation. So it's much harder to do these kind of experiments because the processes don't exist, the incentives don't exist to experiment, fail, and learn. So you have to put that in place. But I can tell you that we're seeing this, you know, in many, many companies. Colgate is doing it. GE even launched a whole program called FastWorks together with Eric Ries to do this. Steve Blank has worked also with GE. So large companies are trying to do this now. It's very tough for them to get these processes going, but they know that if they don't do it, for them, innovation will remain extremely risky, and they will basically burn a pile of cash. So if they want to reduce the risk of innovation, they need to do the same thing as startups do today, which is experiment, learn, and pivot or iterate very quickly. And they're trying very hard. I know a lot of companies that are doing that now.